So we are a program that serves down here, East Side San Jose. We have contracts with the Santa Clara County, and we primarily serve mental health counseling and substance abuse counseling. So it's not just for, Asian Pacific Islanders, but that was when we originally started a few decades ago, the population that we were aiming at serving, because there were specific challenges in that culture that we were aiming to bring treatment to. Well, I do. I think it's personally important because I do think it's culturally we have, I want to say, close to, we have two separate populations that we serve. We serve the adult and then we serve the youth. So I work primarily with the youth, and my range that I do is typically from 14 to 20. But on the youth side, we work from 5 and up. And the kids in particular, you're either dealing with kids that are first generation, or you're dealing with kids that are have recently immigrated. And I feel like there's a huge there's a lot of the other services in the county you might run into where there's not translation services for the parents. So if you're trying to engage, if you're trying to help a kid that has mental health problems or drug and alcohol problems, or problems at school with ADD, and you're not able to communicate effectively with the parent, that's a huge portion of treatment. So I think that is really important. And then I also do think that the same for our adult side. A lot of the clinicians work with their specific ethnic group. So one of our clinicians is Filipina, and she works specifically with female Filipinas, right? That's is a way to be able to relate to your clients that you don't find in a lot of the other county agencies. So I think that's really important. I think it's huge. I think it is, especially when you come to, I have a lot of clients that have, that aren't even able to emotionally and effectively communicate with their own parents because of translation service. There's just so much is lost in translation. You have a lot of kids that are, first generation born here, and they've gotten really used to the culture of the area, not even just America, but I think the Bay Area culture. We're really lucky to have such a, there's so many different experiences here that for kids in this area, it's kind of normal to them to be around so many different, exposed to so many different things, whereas a lot of times their parents were never exposed to anything different. So I think that is a really big, that's a really big shift and a really big disconnect that happens with parents and kids. And there's a huge stigma, especially in Asian community, with getting treatment for mental health problem, for dealing with depression and anxiety. It's more acceptable to get treatment for drugs and alcohol than it is for, for depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress. So you definitely see that. It's a lot of it is about breaking the stigma of even asking for help, bringing it outside of your family, because for a lot of our clients, they were taught you don't talk about this, you don't get help, you just deal with it. And it's definitely different to have them reach out for help. So I think it's when you have a lot of different clinicians with a lot of different backgrounds, then even if you're not the same background as your client, and you haven't been through a similar experience, there might be another clinician on the staff that has. So then you have even more experience to draw from. I also think it's, I think you have so many different perspectives to draw from that you don't fall into the trap of, oh, well, that worked for that person. so that'll work for this person. You know, there's so many different experiences that you, as a staff, it's always more along the lines of, let me gather as many tools as I can because I don't know what might work. Let me have a whole bunch of different things to be able to try. If that kind of makes sense. I try really hard to have it not affect my personal life, just because I have a lot of amazing clients that I work with, but I also have 3 amazing kids that I'm a mom to, and I try not to bring it home. I think one of the things that I bring home with me is when I see one of my clients, when I see one of them sitting and dealing with a feeling. So, you know, like literally if they're sitting on this couch and crying, and I get to sit with them and kind of share that space with them. And if they're kind of reliving a trauma, I get to experience their courage and strength. And I get to sit with them while they're experiencing that. And then when, you know, it's over, see that it didn't kill them and have them realize like it didn't kill them to like feel those feelings again. And that's definitely one of those things that I get to stay like in awe of the resilience of the human spirit, you know. I get to experience that. So as much as I try to leave like that situation at work, I definitely get to carry the feeling